know all eyes that are going to be able to stay open are going to be on a ball game in just a bit, but for now we're glad to have you with us. It's Thursday and the 19th day of March, and it's been rainy as was expected. And as was expected, we've got more in the forecast for tomorrow, but some improvements thereafter, and perhaps more sunshine than not in the rest of your forecast period. Definitely more news than I have time for this evening and tomorrow. Be sure and stay tuned tonight and tomorrow to see just how I'm going to try to work in as many reports as I already have. We'll be talking about the Penguin Plunge. Definitely tomorrow. I have indictments just coming in from a current sitting McGoffin County grand jury. McGoffin County Board of Education meets tonight. The fiscal court of McGoffin County met yesterday. I've got some other announcements from around the viewing area and a whole lot more, and I don't think any of that, well, very little of that is actually making its way into tonight's broadcast, because we'll be talking about this evening another roundup on behalf of the Johnson County Sheriff's Department, which also included an employee within the Big Sandy Regional Detention Center indicted himself for promoting contraband. I'll tell you about those arrests and much more, and we will begin coverage, and I say begin coverage because that's how it's going to play out, at least on a couple of different programs of the McGoffin County Fiscal Court, which has a great deal of information we want to bring you, and we'll cover financial matters tonight with business matters and things before the court on tomorrow's program. And with that said, we will have time for little else on this Thursday. So let's go ahead and begin and go on over to Johnson County, where I caught up with Sheriff Dwayne Price and his deputies as they were bringing several individuals they had apprehended throughout the county in all four corners of Johnson County this morning, and were taking them to the Big Sandy Regional Detention Center. As of the time of this interview, a total of 6 were being sought after initially. 3 had been incarcerated. I believe as of airtime that number is down to 1 as far as individuals still being sought after by the Johnson County Sheriff's Department.
Yeah, we took a little bit of, we kind of exhausted our numbers last year, and we're right now getting back up around 30, 40 people. But today we just chose to do 6, you know, for various reasons. All 6 of these are trafficking in, you know, narcotics, you know, anywhere from meth to manufacturing meth, hydrocodone, a little bit of Suboxone. Yeah, as soon as we get I hate to talk about CIs, but you know, we've got a couple of real good ones right now, and they're doing you know outstanding job. and your roundups are pretty much based on your informants and the tips you get from the public. You know, some weeks or some months it'll be real slow, and then all of a sudden it'll kick in, and you get you just can't keep up with you know, with the caseload. And that's where we're at right now. We've got a lot of stuff that we're working on, large numbers, and in the near future we plan on picking them back up 15 to 20 roundup.
And just as important as those confidential informants, and as you stress all the time, you need the public support.
We cannot do this successfully without the public. If the public calls us with tips, we let none of them go unheard, none of them fall on deaf ears. We take their information, we do surveillance, and we coordinate with, again, with our CIs, and it just works great. We can't be everywhere, and the public is our eyes.
And with the help of those eyes of the public, the Sheriff's Department was able to arrest these individuals. 40-year-old Michael Brown of Swamp Branch. He was indicted on charges of manufacturing meth, possession of drug paraphernalia, public intoxication, and being a persistent felony offender in the 2nd degree. Also indicted and arrested 45-year-old Richard Hardy of Nippa. He was indicted on a charge of trafficking in a controlled substance, that being methamphetamine, and there were actually 4 separate indictment warrants issued in Hardy's name. 37-year-old Rose Kestner of Thealca was indicted on a charge of trafficking in a controlled substance. She too lodged in the Big Sandy jail. An indictment warrant was also returned on a Danny R. Clark for trafficking in a controlled substance. He was already incarcerated in the Leslie County Jail, I am told. Considered to be at large from the Johnson County Sheriff's Department at this hour is a Casey Huffman. And also the last individual sought after today was a Cody Spencer, who was an employee at the Big Sandy Regional Detention Center, who was indicted on charges of promoting contraband. I'm told unofficially that Spencer was accused of selling cigarettes to inmates at an inflated price. The Sheriff's Department in Johnson County is also sponsoring an event that has been put together by another organization, and that's one that I have on the community calendar I had for the past couple of days, and that's the Penguin Plunge, a little cold dip into the Paintsville Lake this Saturday morning at 9 o'clock. All proceeds going to help support the Johnson County Special Olympics. I'll tell you more about the plunge on tomorrow's program. We'll have an interview, and looking forward to what's going to be. And water temperature's not as cold as to be honest, as cold as I was expecting them to be. We'll talk more about that and hear more about the plunge on tomorrow's broadcast. For now, a few words from a few of our sponsors, and we'll be right back after those. To get high-speed internet on their state-of-the-art fiber optic network for all of your home and business solutions, or to watch TV without a contract on over 200 digital channels with superb quality, or stay connected with family and friends with 24/7 telephone service you can always depend on, contact Foothills Broadband today. Or just click on their link to the right to find out how they're working to provide the latest in communications at affordable prices with exceptional service at Foothills Broadband. The McGoffin County Fiscal Court met in regular session on yesterday afternoon, a lengthy meeting in its entirety, about 90 minutes give or take, and we'll be breaking it into at least two programs. The first tonight will cover financial matters, and then on tomorrow's program we'll dive into business matters and other items before the court, several resolutions, some recognitions, and a whole lot of other business matters that were brought before Judge Executive Charles Hardin and all three magistrates during yesterday's meeting. But for tonight, we will once again, as I said, focus on financial matters, where shortly after approval of the minutes and beginning with the meeting, Magistrate Bucklemaster made a second attempt in as many meetings or so, I believe, to try to replace vandalized or stolen road signs. He made a motion after excess fees were presented to the McGoffin County Judge Executive and the Fiscal Court from County Court Clerk Renee Arnett Shepard in excess of $20,000.
Next item on the business is the clerk's 2014 excess fees.
Okay. I've attached a copy of the budget to everybody's meetings.
$22,981.
So a motion concerning the clerk's excess fees.
I'll make a motion to accept it.
And I'll second it. Motion been made by Magistrate District 2 and seconded by the county judge. Any discussion?
Yeah. I've been, this is excess money we didn't really expect to get, I presume.
Based on the outstanding performance of clerk over the last 8 years, I'm not surprised, but I'm very thankful to get it. She usually brings us quite a bit of excess.
I've been I've been met with many emergency responders concerned about the road signs. We've discussed this before, but they're roughly $20 a piece. I figure 50 signs per district, it's about $3,000. There's $22,000. I can make the motion to take $3,000 of that and put up 50 signs in each district.
Motion been made by Magistrate District 1, District 2 to take $3,000 of this money and to buy the signs. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion been made by Magistrate District 2, second by Magistrate District 3. Is there any other discussion? All those in favor, roll call vote.
Judge Hardin?
No.
Gary Reisner?
No.
Cornell Master?
Yes.
Matthew White?
Yes.
Motion fails. All right, is there a motion concerning the clerk's excess fees?
There was another motion brought before the court in order to accept the excess fees as presented by Clerk Shepard. That motion passed unanimously and was accepted by the court. In other financial discussions, a little later on in the meeting, Magistrate Matthew Wyman of District 3, who is an accountant for the state in his professional nature, expressed his concerns about large amounts of money which had been allowed to build up within the county budget prior and thus being depleted, and as to how the county had plans to operate in the years coming.
Our fund balances just on the surface, again, and I've not had time to dig into it. Our general fund, we spend approximately 75% of the budget, and that includes the significant carry forward of $1.7 million. If we are 3/4 of the way through on the expenditures, including that, I do have concerns, not specifically for this fiscal year, but for future fiscal years of, and with the upcoming budget process, of how we're going to be able to maintain the type of services and form of government that we have right now.
First of all, if you remember from the meetings you attended, 65% of the budget is allocated for the first 6 months of fiscal year. The reasoning being behind that is that many items are paid, such as insurances and stuff, at the beginning of the
well aware of that. I do this daily.
And therefore, it is not at all uncommon to have 65% of the budget spent in the first 6 months of any fiscal year.
And I have no disagreement with that whatsoever. But
so
what my
now
point
we're
is,
2 months into the 35% that we had left. So you're a lot better at math than I am, but that's 6 months. And of the two, that's a third, and we spent a third of 35. 10,000. I'm not that concerned about that.
I'm not concerned about this year either, Judge. What I'm saying is that the court before I got on made budget amendments to include that carry forward of $1.7 million. We had a $2.1 million budget. We increased it to well over $3 million. We will by the end of the fiscal year, if we continue spend that out. So as we're planning for the future budgets, I find it hard to see that we're going to be carrying that kind of funds forward, knowing that we have spent that one-time money.
Why not?
That's right. But we haven't spent 1.7 out of the general fund.
No, I didn't. I never intended for that. See, what happened in the last 8 fiscal years is that each and every time we ended in a surplus. And so what I forgot to do was to bring the surplus over, and I started at 0 each time. And that inadvertently left a lot of money off in Hinterland. My magistrates didn't know about it, so they didn't ask about it to spend.
You didn't know about it either. You said you forgot.
Buck, listen to me.
Well, you said you forgot.
No,
Did you forget?
No. I've been in court enough courtesy of some people in this county that I've learned to word things the right way. It dawned on me in the last year of my administration that there was some money that needed to be brought into the budget, and I thought since I'd worked hard to accumulate the surplus, I should spend it, and I did. It won't be there again.
Exactly, and that's my point. As we start planning for our future years,
They're going to be leaner.
Exactly.
Welcome to the fiscal.
That's my
You arrived at the right time since you're good at budget.
And in addition, the LGEA fund is already 99.11% expended.
Well, it's going to get leaner. It's going to get tough.
I just wanted to make sure that I'm expressing my concern now, and when I ask about items saying, is this in the budget, that's the intent.
I'll just be honest with you. A physical court that is in the next 4 years will learn to say no much more than the fiscal court did the last time. This will be in much leaner 4 years. And there are many factors on that fact. Some of them are coal's down, road funds money's down, things like that you can't do anything about. But now I have learned to make sure that we bring all the off the line out. I figured trying not to, it'd be about like trying to run something by medicine on me, wouldn't get very far, and I didn't want to attempt that on no account.
More fiscal court coverage in just a few moments. No pressing announcements on the calendar tonight that I can't hold off until tomorrow. I do need to make mention, I don't have a graphic coming up on screen as should be queued, but of the passing of 97-year-old Verna Helton Adams Fairchild of Adams Street in Sagersville, who passed away on Tuesday of this week. Preceded in death by her first husband, John Shug Adams, and then her second husband, Herschel Fairchild. She is survived by daughters Patty Setzer and Brenda McCullough and Louetta Clemens and Linda Martin and Joan Yoakum, as well as a host of other family and friends. Services in her honor are to be held at the Sagersville First Baptist Church this Saturday at 2, with visitation to begin Friday evening and continue up until services. I'll be right back with the rest of the program in just a moment. To get high-speed internet on their state-of-the-art fiber optic network for all of your home and business solutions, or to watch TV without a contract on over 200 digital channels with superb quality, or stay connected with family and friends with 24/7 telephone service you can always depend on, contact Foothills Broadband today. Or just click on their link to the right to find out how they're working to provide the latest in communications at affordable prices with exceptional service at Foothills Broadband. Wrapping up tonight's coverage of this week's regular session of the McGoffin County Fiscal Court, further financial discussions when asked for items from the magistrates and then from the treasurer, those being payment of physicals, which had been at once provided by the judge executive or from the fiscal court itself.
It's going to be because the funds are getting scarce.
But John's up to the task. Just take work hard and give us time. Any other items? Any items from the county attorney? Any items from the clerk? Any items from the treasurer?
Yes, I wanted to bring up, I was questioned about the fiscal court paying for CDL physicals. In the past, since you have always provided those, it wasn't a problem, but.
I used to provide them free, but I've taken all the courses, I just haven't gotten around because I'm busy in other areas to do the testing. And even if I were qualified now to do them, I'm not sure I would ever be able to do that again due to some misunderstandings that have been fairly public about when you do things for people that it may be misinterpreted that you're trying to influence them in a way you shouldn't. There's a lot of things I'm not going to be able to do I used to do. I'm not sure I could even do those for you, not charge the fiscal court. I know I can't gravels, I can't take care of cemetery roads. I can't gravel church parking lots. I'm not even comfortable giving kids a birthday present now to find out it's their birthday for fear somebody think I'm trying to influence. I used to be able to, quite frankly, if you had a huge medical bill and a lot of problems, sometimes I could cut that back. But certain people having daughters that are doctors and granddaughters optometrists, I don't feel comfortable in doing that anymore. So there's a lot of things I can't do to help people. And I hope people don't get mad at me over it. If they do, if you won't be mad at me, I only ask that you also be mad at the three people who are involved in it. John Montgomery, H.B. Arnett, and Tanya Ward. Hold them accountable, or if you're going to hold me, I'll hold all four of us. I just can't do certain things. Now, Mr. County Attorney, can we pay for those CDL physicals?
For our employees. See, that is an expense that is not covered by the health insurance, which you're looking at $95 at the cheapest that I have found, all the way over to $200, plus the expense of the license.
I'll make you a deal. I'll pay for one if the magistrates will pay for the other.
I gotta save my money for road signs.
I'll pay for one if the other two magistrates won't pay for it. What about you, Bruce? Are you Matt pay for one? Oh, okay.
What's the problem? I don't understand.
Let people know where they're going.
My apologies. The last discussion of the meeting, and the last one obviously we'll cover this evening, was that, and if you recall me last night, I told you that the meeting had run well past the 5 o'clock hour, and it got to the point to where in order to do last night's show, I just left the camera running, and that's why it is stationary at this point when McGoffin County Jailer Brian Montgomery addressed the court about why his deputy jailers had not been rehired at the first of the year, and asking that the court reinstate those individuals as he was conducting all duties of the jailer department by himself, as he had been since learning that they were not rehired.
Get ready for your job. I'm sorry, I mean that's the way it is. I don't make the rules, you don't either. Sometimes you just have to apply them.
That'll help the budget, but not the roads.
Right.
It is Montgomery's voice that you'll hear speaking off camera at this time.
Any items from the public?
Yeah, I'm asking the court to address that letter I sent you all concerning my transportation plan of the inmates and foreign and deputies.
Did you get
let me know what happens in my deputies, what's going to happen.
Did you get my letter back?
I did about the just search of
Did you take it out there to see if it was? Did you take it out there to see if it was safe?
Yeah.
That's my concern.
I understand we just didn't make the motion to hire your deputies, is that?
No, I didn't even know if they wasn't hard back.
What about the sheriff's deputies, that they hired them back?
The sheriff's deputies?
Yeah, we have 2 for them?
Yeah, you voted to hire
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. I don't
Oh, I
know.
had no deputies hard back.
I'll make the motion to hire the deputies and let him have his men, if he needs it.
I'm doing it 7 days a week, 24 hours a day right by myself. I mean,
I'll make the motion to hire the deputies then, and the sheriff deputy, because I don't think we hired him back
I
either.
remember having it to go through on the sheriff when you made your recommendation, Judge.
We hired the one, we only paid one out of our payroll. The others are just included in the budget. They're on a reimbursement. It's not that we pay for them. So they're not listed separate.
Well, his deputies then.
Motion been made, is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion been made by Magistrate District 2, second by Magistrate District 3, roll call vote.
Ray Russell. Buckle-Master.
Yes.
Matthew Arnold.
Yes.
Dr. Hart.
No. Motion fails. Any further thing to come before the fiscal court?
Yeah, can I ask the court, one is the transportation plan, and what's we gotta know what we're gonna do with these inmates, and what the KRS says we have to have a transportation plan.
We already have a transportation plan.
You don't have one?
We do have.
Can I get a copy of it?
Yes, sir.
I'd just like to know what the job, how you can
Get that
do
for
it.
you.
No help whatsoever.
She'll make it available for you. Any other questions?
I'd also like to know why you're not giving me no help where I can do my job that I was elected for.
Any other questions?
With all the financial aspects of the meeting covered, we'll pick it up with the business side and some other things and a whole lot of other news that I'll be pulling a little or burning a little midnight oil on to cover. There you saw tonight's Licking Valley RACC forecast, a low of 45. These light showers continuing. Rain likely tomorrow, a little morning fog. Temperatures in the low 50s again, well above the freezing mark tomorrow night at 38. And clouds becoming mostly cloudy late tomorrow night. The good news is that by Saturday the sun comes back with a daytime high of 64. Partly sunny and 59 on your Sunday. So a nice weekend to dry out the wet part to the latter part of the week. That's my time. Thank you for being a part of it. We'll hope you join us back here tomorrow night for more of your news today. Good night, and thank you for watching.